The Alien and the Predator franchise, both which were once owned by Fox, are now properties of Disney. So let's talk about the future of both of these franchises and the big what-if question. Do we live in a world where we could possibly see a Xenomorph and a Yautja show up in the MCU? So thank you to the CBC member who asked this question, and this was in regards to Marvel acquiring the rights to Predator and Alien for comics, with of course them announcing that there will be crossovers happening and releasing us two images, one featuring the Yautja holding Iron Man's head, and the other one a Xenomorph on the Guardians Milano. Now the member's question was to the future of both of these on film, because they've had a rocky history in the last, well, since the second one of each one, really. Now, I will say this, I am a huge fan of both. Predator 2 in particular, I really like, because that was the first one I saw, but I prefer the first one in that franchise. When it comes to Alien, the first two films are completely different from each other. It's almost like the Terminator thing. I prefer the second one, Aliens, way more because of its action nature. From there on, I have varying degrees of problems with all of them, specifically Alien 3 and Resurrection. The AVP movies are as schlocky as they get, so I can appreciate them somewhat for that. Predators I absolutely loved, and I wish they would have continued more with that. And of course there was The Predator from about a year or two ago with Shane Black directing it, and the less we say about that one the better. Now of course Disney owns both of these franchises, and recently they did announce that they're acquiring the comics. So with the comics being acquired, is there a possibility that these characters could show up in the MCU? And I will say 100% certainty behind what I say right now, no. There is no chance Kevin Feige will do this in live action. So first up, let me explain what I'm talking about. The Alien, the way it was built, the Xenomorph, the origins of that, what they did with Prometheus, which I didn't even mention Prometheus or Covenant because I forgot both of those. But yes, both of those movies exist. I like Prometheus. Covenant exists. Anyways, these franchises aren't franchisable, if that makes sense. Everything needs to be this huge, big budget thing now, according to studios, where it has to be a billion-dollar franchise. And I've never known anybody that sees Predator or Alien as something that can make $1 billion. These should be properties that are made on a 30 to 40, maximum $50 million budgets that can make back $150, $200 million and be profitable just enough. They don't need $250, $300 million like they've tried because they're not that big with fans. They don't resonate as much as your big blockbuster MCU and DCEU films. So there's no point to it. So that's one of the reasons I think they'll never show up in the MCU. Two, the continuity, the problems, the baggage, all of that, it just doesn't make sense. Now, on the other hand, I think comics are exactly where you go and you explore this. That's why they're doing these one-offs to see what can happen. And eventually, I think they'll show up in like another bigger crossover or something, which obviously in a couple years we'll probably get another Secret Wars or something that mashes up universes and there'll be some crossover there. Now I did also say not on film, because I think What If could possibly serve a purpose for this. I mean, what if season 2, right? Couple years from now, they get to it. What if you try it? What if the Nova Corp found the Xenomorph? Or what if the Novas crashed on a planet and they can't use any of their weapons and hey look, it's a predator hunting ground. There's your opportunity to test it and have some fun with it because you own all these properties. And that's honestly where I would do it. So the long and short answer is not in live action, yes in Marvel's What If, yes in the comics. Probably nothing with animation otherwise because why? Why would you waste it on that? So that's my answer on it, but what do you guys think and how do you feel about it? And do you think it could work in a what if scenario?